Hey everybody, welcome back again. I wasn't going to make another video about this real quick, and I've had a lot of good comments about the Charlie Kirk stuff, but I wanted to add something to the other video I made, and then say something about a comment that was made. And I'm not going to dog on the it's just kind of seems typical, the comment, but I'll get the comment first. First thing, he comment, okay, this is a video talking about what happened to Charlie Kirk and that Ukrainian girl. So he leaves a comment, I want to see the files for the dude that had an island with a bunch of people on it. I'm not sure what words they flagged, so that's good enough reference for you to know what I'm talking about. I think the files should be released. I think they should be shown. But this particular video wasn't about that. And he had a bunch of blue hearts behind it, which, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but the way I understood it was that the blue hearts were, unless specifically asked for somebody to tell that you actually watched their video, the blue hearts were like the red and the blue states, liberal, conservative. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, because that's just what I thought it was. But it's funny how that a lot of times persons that identify more to the left, people on the right do it too, but just not as bad from what I've noticed, when they can't really talk about a subject because there's nothing they can really say about it. Like, I don't care who you are, what happened to Charlie Kirk is wrong, and everybody should know and say that it's wrong. Doing that to someone just because they don't agree with you is wrong. I don't care who you are. That should be wrong by everybody's standard. But, and I could have read this wrong, but I was kind of taking it like this guy was trying to change the thought process, the narrative of the video I had, to get people to go back to that. Just like all of the stories that came out during certain elections that were always trying to veer you off of this or that, or whenever we had a worldwide, how's the easy way to put the really bad flu. There was a lot, and I can make another video on that. I'm not going to get into, so don't do a whole bunch of hate comments on that whole thing, because I can give it a video on my opinion on that too. But this one is just that. But the main reason, I just wanted to address that comment, but the big reason is in my last video, and I believe the one before that when I was talking about this, I was talking about how I just don't understand why how it's got to that. And you know what, I thought about it after I posted that video. I do understand why that kind of thing happens. I was incorrect earlier. I do understand it. I just had to think about it, process it a little bit. The world was perfect when there was just Adam and Eve. And then after sin came in the world, when Adam and Eve sinned, well, sin come in. Well, Satan is to, steal, kill, destroy. He just doesn't want anything to be good. So it does make sense, because the world has been degrading since that point. So that's why we have all these diseases, and why we have all these mental illnesses, and why we have all this junk that's going on, because human nature and just the DNA and everything is degrading, because the farther we get away from that point of perfection, the worse we get. So it actually makes sense. And just how Satan deceived Eve, you know, by saying, you know, surely if you eat of that, you won't die. God just doesn't want you to be equal to him. So he deceived her. Okay? And then, you know, a running joke is, well, Eve made me eat the apple. Well, no, it was Adam's job to protect Eve from that. So it's really his fault because he should have been protecting her from that. But I don't want to get too far into the preaching side on this. I'll make some videos about preaching if you want. But let me know. Comments. And so society is degrading because of sin coming in this world. And, you know, think about it. Satan, Lucifer, was the angel. You know, he was, for lack of better terms, the angel in charge of, you know, music. And he was one of the most beautiful angels before he fell. He got prideful and fell. Well, you know, Satan uses a lot of music to get to people. Good, you know, in bad ways, saying things and doing things they shouldn't. But over the years, I've noticed a lot of people have gotten number to lyrics, just like TV shows. When I was a kid, you know, PG now is arguably worse than what R was when I was a kid. So we're getting numbed to all this junk. And before anybody says it, no, I am not perfect. I'm not holier than thou. I make mistakes every day. But through the grace of God, I have been saved with Jesus Christ as my Savior. And if me saying that offends you, well, then you can unfollow me. Don't watch my videos, you know. But if you leave mean comments, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Just letting you know. But I am not perfect. But by God's grace, every day that I wake up, I try. And I fail every day, but I keep trying. But something to remember. I woke up this morning. I got to see my family. I'm waiting on my son right now off the bus. I just dropped off groceries for my daughter's volleyball so they can have food before they play. Charlie Kirk can't do that. And his family can no longer do that with him. All because somebody somewhere got their feelings hurt, and he was just very articulate, and he would speak, and he allowed other people to speak, and he would debate them. And generally, if you watch very many of his videos, it was the other people getting mad a lot of times. But I just wanted to get on here and say that, you know, if you want me to make videos on my opinions on all kinds of stuff, put it in the comments, subjects of what you want me to make videos on, and I'll make videos on it, and I'll tell you my thought process on it. I don't know everything. I just go through life like everybody else. And I have my opinions, and I have things that make sense to me, just like everyone else does. But if you want to hear my opinion, put it in a comment, and I'll make my opinion. Just remember, if you ask me a question, don't get mad at the answer. Be prepared to whatever answer you get. So, thanks for listening to me, Yak. I just wanted to bring that up about the comments. And I might make a video on that island just so that guy can have an actual place to put them comments where they belong. So, thanks a lot. Like, comment, you know, all that good stuff. Share. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.